A bit ago, I did commentary runs for any percent because I felt like it, but now this is going to be one for Hoverless. So for Hoverless, we don't allow the main glitch of the game, slam hovering. And so as a result, the run is completely different from any percent. One point 0.2 and current patch are very similar in a lot of regards in this category, but for the most part, the day one patch is faster. Unfortunately, though, because of some complications, we have the auto splitter having problems. And so we have to have an accommodation that I'll get to later. But for the most part, this is really casual.
Ouch. Looks pretty broken.
I have rebinds on my controller that left click is on the right trigger so I can spam through dialogue much faster.
No! I've never seen a fish like this.
Over here. Oh boy.
Right now we get to Wild West Jellyfish Fields after getting the cowboy costume. And so as soon as we get in here, we're going to hold left, and in the rocks in the distance, there's actually some speed triggers left over, so we'll just get a huge speed boost. Now here's where it diverges from any percent. We want to go down here instead of hovering all the way over there. And now we can pizza stall out of bounds out to this canyon section. So you can see Manta Fe right there. And that strip of land that you see in front of the riding school, we would hover over to the place with the seahorse that should load in. I guess not. No, this is a bit hard. This is PGA DBS, Pizza Glide Around Death Barrier Skip. But we got it first try. You kind of have to guess where that death plane is. There's no like visual cue for it that I have right now.
We made it to Manta Fe, my floating friend.
So this jump is very precise. But we got it first try. Now we just spam jump and dash through the seahorse section. Take a little bit of a shortcut across the water with these strips of land. Alright, we're just climbing this the fastest way possible. Now we can jump on that cactus and pizza glide out to this canyon. A little bit tight, but we got it. Just roll and jump out to the second section of cacti that we have to milk. Alright, and that rising platform, it can be jumped on to jump up to there. And this is not the intended route. You can see the stipple line with the bridge down there. That's like the intended route to get to the first one you have to get. As you can see there, I actually cartwheeled away from the cacti while I was milking it. So I could get to ledge grab the thing much faster after it was done milking. But now here, we'll hit this guy, then jump in the death plane. Then he's gonna hide away, and we can just get the extra 2 hits off of him. Jump in the death plane. He'll hide away, and we can get 3 hits off of him. Now this is where the auto splitter complications come in. Because of some live split updates or like compatibility issues, the auto splitter will not pause. Normally you have to reload this area after dying, after getting this gold tooth that I'll get. This gold tooth, but since it won't reload anymore, we have to just fight casually. So we'll make a beeline for this duplicator. Let's prioritize the duplicators. Go out to this tartar jelly. Hit the jelly bandit. And finish it off with that tartar. Is something still alive? Oh, where did he come from? Anyway. Alright, and then we can... Then we can go on. Okay. So here, instead of actually just whacking Mr. Krabs 3 times or chasing him on a train, I always thought that was a really, really cool twist. But like the horse, we jump to do Mantiface skip forward, we just spam jump and dash. We can clip inside the train while we outrun it. And so... now we'll get onto the train in a few seconds. Now it's just a straight shot to the end. Can show off something a little bit cool. The trigger just extends out so we can not kill those enemies. going onwards for the most part. Now there's these cacti cycles. We just want to go this way since they're going the opposite way, and yeah, that cactus cycle was perfect. I'm actually going to turn my camera this way because enemies have to be on screen to be able to die in this game for performance reasons. And we just... Alright, and that's the level. Going back in the hub for a sec because the chum bucket is tipped over. And we can actually jump on Cassandra's carriage, jump out here, and hit the button like that, instead of just using the tree like most runners do. And I can try and show this off. Alright, now we go into Karate Downtown, Bikini Bottom. The platforming in this level is really fun, but right now it's just cutting corners, just getting through this theater section as fast as possible. I actually designed this to be a movie studio. Recording a movie in a video game. Right now we jump on this cardboard box, jump on this cardboard prop, and jump over this fence, and now these guys are an RNG component, but as you can see there, if they do the slam attack, you can actually just hit them a little bit earlier with dodge cancel. And that was actually perfect RNG. Alright, this is 2D skip. This is a bit tricky. Oh, that was a bad angle. But second try is okay. Now we just run along at some invisible walls to board this 2D section. That's supposed to be like a side-scrolling action movie section, but we're just like cartwheeling over it. It made it appear long from this, but it's actually like only a minute. Or like 45 seconds. There's a spot right there where you can't actually fall in and soft lock, so you need to be mindful of that. You can take a shortcut in 80% with a hover over there where you... Okay, there were lag spikes. Anyway, you can take a shortcut in 80% where you hover where that green building is. But we cannot do that, so we have to accommodate that by actually going the full way and just cutting corners. And now we unlock the karate kick. Let's do that. And we'll use that later. But now we're heading out of bounds after some climbing. And we just roll and jump out of bounds. Here there's a death plane, so we actually have to roll instead of just roll and jump, but it's still faster to just roll. I guess 2 squeaks would be a good visual cue for just rolling. And now this is a bit wonky, but we got the first try. Sometimes it will not give you that height, and you have to try a few times, but I got the first try there, which is nice. So now we're just climbing on out-of-bounds buildings. Now we can ledge grab this. And now we jump onto this sign. Let's grab this top of it, and now we can just try to get back in bounds. Okay. So we can take a shortcut right here. We can just kick this balloon. Now this crane is cycle based. I missed the crane cycle, so I have to wait a little bit. We could take a shortcut by just jumping, kicking this guy. You can get these awards for fun. You can disable the award screen by starting a new game, immediately exiting and starting another new game. But I did not do that before this run. I actually have enough health, so I don't need those guys to hit me. In this upcoming fight, we can actually die to skip an attack phase. But we can just, instead of going on the trampoline, we can stand right here and jump when it's about here. And now we're in the fight. See, if I had 3 health, I would have gone on here and took damage, but we do not need to do that, since I fell back there. Alright, are we gonna get the... okay, this is a bit odd. Okay, what? I've never had it that way before. Okay, yeah, I died too early, unfortunately. But anyway, that would have skipped the attack phase. If you're lucky, you can actually... she can actually just spawn way over there and just like instantly hit the TNT when she's supposed to go, but I died too early for that, and she was like way out. So I unfortunately missed that benefit. Now we just dodge the guards and hit her a 3rd time, and we're done with this level. Sometimes I'll miss hitting Sandy and have to try to hit again.
I'm glad Sandy and her weird house came back. But I want my house back too.
Alright, now we go to Pirate Goo Lagoon. This level is completely different from 80%. In 80%, we can literally just skip the whole level. But we can't do that here, but we do still skip a lot.
show you how a real pirate uses these instruments.
Incoming pastries! We need to get off this beach, Patrick!
So we would jump up there and hover way out to an island in the distance. But we're not going to do that in this category.
Uh-oh, I forgot to pack the sunscreen.
Well, I guess I could use a tan.
But what if we get
So we're gonna
bleached and shrivel
we're
up?
gonna go this way.
Too much sand candy now. I already ate some.
I'm gonna try and jump on this tree so I can jump up and kick that guy to get a boost onto the tree, but he shot me off. If you slam at the right time, he won't like blast you back. Hold on. Okay, nice. Alright, normally you have to die and trigger the cutscene to get up here, but with very tight pizza stalling, you can actually avoid dying.
Sponge.
Alright, now this is where we unlock the swing.
That swamp looks kind of eerie, like the kind of place you'd find pirate ghosts. Look at all these abandoned ships, Patrick. Ooh, I'll bet if we dusted off these wrecks and hoisted his socks up their flagpoles, it would look like the Dutchman has a whole armada that everyone would know he's back.
And now we just cut a corner right here, jump over that rock.
How you gonna get the socks off?
Very carefully, Patrick. Let's go.
Normally you have to do like some sock hoisting stuff to get over here, but we can actually just jump on this pizza glide over to this rock and skip all that sock hoisting.
Ooh, that's a fake sandcastle.
Must be where the king of sand lives.
Time for the sandcastle fights. If I can kick this. If you karate kick something that's behind a tub enemy, it will stun it and you can get multiple hits off of him. But we couldn't do that for the very first one we saw because we didn't have the karate kick at that time. Now this is fish hook stalling. We can just gain some height off the fish hooks. That tech does return from Purple M's previous game, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. In Rehydrated, you can just spam fish hook stalling, but in this you need to do it like very rhythmically. Now here's a good burst of speed rings. The speed rings we normally do not have in 80%, but we unlock them here. And I'll get to its differences when they arise. Now
Like a pretty mermaid is sunbathing.
we have to play this mermaid some music to lift her spirits up.
This constant air travel seems a little unsafe.
Alright, now as soon as that Y prompt comes up to unlock the slingshot, we can warp back to Sandcastle and we'll grab the surfboard and fly all the way out here. I look for the third one on this road to be completely off screen for a visual cue that I'm going to make this pizza stall. Pizza stall or swing stall up here. Now here's a pretty difficult jumping upcoming. It involves avoiding this huge gate. And it's a little bit inconsistent, so let's see how I do this.
Incoming pause.
Alright, we did it perfectly. Sometimes I'll just hit like an invisible ceiling and SpongeBob won't get any height. But that was perfect. And now this is the sock hoisting we cannot avoid at all. At the moment. Involves just spamming space. Or X if you're on controller. Or in my case, square. I'm on a PlayStation controller. Anyway, this is the second of it. And so actually gonna manage a lot of buttons alongside space or X because there's dialogue here that we have to skip past. Now we're actually gonna point the camera that way and die in this goo. So that'll bring back the pies so we can do... So you can cheese this tub fight. If the pies want to hit him. Nice. Can you hear like the Drunken Sailor theme, I think it's called, very vaguely when I'm hoisting those socks? But anyway, now we get to this section, which is an in the air section with these islands. Pizza glide over to there, kick this enemy, hit this. Go back with this swing. Okay.
These dusty old cannons still pack a punch, no?
You know, we just go back to the slingshot, kick this enemy, and then this one. I'm pretty sure if you don't jump, it will give you that massive boost when you kick the second enemy. And now we get to the actual prawn fight, which is just 3 waves of enemies. Alright, now we'll hit him, kick him. This appears to be Golding. Yes. Alright, now here's the patty minigame. In this minigame, you can lose up to 11 seconds. The fastest I've gotten was a 105, and the slowest I think there is was a 53. So you can lose 12 max. Not even accounting for mistakes. Alright, 59 is around the best Well, it's not the best RNG, but it's not the worst RNG either. Now, Halloween Rock Bottom is very similar to both Hoverless and 80%. However, in 80%, we'll just get this balloon. 80% we can just hover over and hit the trigger from here. But we have to, in Hoverless, we have to take the casual route.
Remember, SpongeBob? Just pretend that scary equals funny and play hide and seek with them.
Tiki's, and then we work back. And now we climb this bus, go over here. And now...
You really are my best friend.
Is that gonna spawn me somewhere? Okay. Now we'll just hover out. The museum is out here. That ends the level. Okay, I thought I was gonna make that, but we did. Oh, and since I have 1 health, we can actually do a death warp in the fight. But for now, we just have to scare these enemies, which is why you've gotta... scaring these enemies is why you have to go out and get the scare ability. Now here's the death warp I was talking about. We can just get hit, and it'll spawn us higher up in the fight on this invisible wall. We can do a wall hover, but not in Hoverless, so we have to just take the casual route. Cutting corners and all that. And now that is the Gary fight. We're back to the pineapple. I take this horse to go over to Cassandra. Now that award screen is why we break the award screen, like I mentioned earlier. Whenever you try to warp, it will come up and it'll lose you a few seconds to have to exit it. But now this is prehistoric kelp forest. So in prehistoric kelp forest, you want to go out here, go on top of this section of land. Now there's an invisible wall that we want to land on, where those kelp trees are. I want to map out where this invisible wall is. So we just go in this direction. We are skipping a lot. This level takes so long to complete casually. There's like a slide, an inside, like a cave, There's like a bunch of like rolling rock sections. This is a very huge level, and this is skipping a lot of it. Now this is just a puzzle. It's cloud, jellyfish, fish, shell, heart. Now the pom-pom fight. We can hit these bones early, like that. Cartwheel jumps, which is what I did there, is hitting cartwheel and jump on the same frame. This is the hardest of the bone strats, but we got it. And that's all 3 bones. Now we can actually just wait out on where I did blue bone and just wait out these stomp attack phases and somewhat of these crying phases. And then we just wait this out. This is the only bone that triggers a cutscene, so we can just stay completely idle for the first bone of this phase. But for the other 2 bones, we do actually have to go out and like come off this platform and hit them. And this is where donations would come in. Okay. You get it? You can see the tartar hitting the like. There's like an invisible cylinder around Pearl, so it'll hit that instead of me. Just grab that health. 1 health, and we end the level. Okay. Bit of an oopsies and warping, but we managed it.
Phew, that was heavy. That should do the pumpkins are
Now, we actually need to warp here this time. So now we go to Medieval Sulfur Fields. And this is part of where unlocking the rings in Pirate Goo Lagoon comes in. We can just, in 80% we have to actually like manage our height to glide over to this part of the slide, but we can just use speed rings. And to get to this part, we'd actually have to hover over to it, but we can just use the rings here too. Now we will grab the surfboard and take a right. Okay, still kick the balloon. You can normally get a double jump out of that, but I spun and jumped late, so I didn't get a double jump. So now we have the tower section. which we're gonna do in an interesting order. That is not the normal order. There's a bunch of platforming challenges that we're skipping. Now we hit this one, and this slide appears. We can take a shortcut, skip some of the slide.
The Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me. I knew I could count on you, Patrick.
We want to jump out to this. But we made it the second time. That is a bit of a tight... pizza glide, but it's very possible. Green, green, purple. Now we're basically just playing Simon Says. Red, green, purple, purple. See, we're failing some on purpose because we don't actually need to get all of them right. We only need 12 in the bottom left corner. But since I got a lot wrong, it'll still end me because I had 12. Jump on this torch, jump on this flag, karate kick this enemy, and go inside the castle.
No more chafing.
Now we just do some swing stalling to jump over to this surfboard,
Little dabble do ya?
kick this enemy. Alright, this is twitchy.
Oh, it's Princess Pearl.
A really annoying fight. I once had an 80% run where I had a 36:04 best possible time, and I lost 12 seconds probably just because of this fight.
This cake is fragile. We have to
So we're gonna get that cake, and now we'll get this one of the hardest cakes. And now I actually have this camera facing this way for a reason. There's an award to do this for never getting hit, and I at first thought it meant not getting hit by these green bulbs, which I am right now, but it means not getting hit by these jelly enemies.
Oh boy.
So like, if you have the camera facing the way I did, a bunch of enemies pile up. And just wait until they can attack you when they're on screen. But I kept them off screen the whole time, which made the fight significantly much easier. Can you hit the jellyfish? Now this is the blue jellyfish. We have to catch to save Mrs. Puff. Uh-oh. SpongeBob jumps off in the way he's facing on the rocks.
Sea bears! Quick, hold on
So ideally, I try to like get SpongeBob to face into the ledge I jumped onto, but that did not happen that time. Alright, this is this jelly glove world. Normally we hover over to that other island. We just hover over the goo, but we have to take alternate routes, so we'll just do this tub fight casually. There's no way to cheese this. That was probably the second best RNG. We can actually jump on this heart, jump to these dangling ones, jump onto this portrait, jump onto the outline. Now we're on top of a very thin wall that we need to follow. We jump over to this, which gets us out of the tunnel of glove. Now we just take the slingshot after jumping around. On the current patches, you have to do some like alternate stuff because you can't actually jump on the buildings. Yeah, you can't actually jump on these blue outlines on the buildings on later patches. Now those are very conveniently there, so we can jump across without triggering the jail, which warps you to an entirely different area. And all I have to say is that alternate area loses a lot of time. Jump on this glove. You can make a really fast cycle, but I barely make that fast cycle anymore. You can jump on the outline and climb up just to make it a bit faster.
The Krusty Krab! It is here! Oh, if I'm this excited, I can only imagine how Squidward... Hold on, Patrick! I'm coming!
Kick this enemy. Alright, this is the glovey glove fight. With the jump up, we get the free flower. Suck these guys up. Suck him up. Suck another enemy up and just shoot him. And so we'll hit this cube and then this one, and then we'll manipulate. The way to cheese these tubs is this jelly that's gonna appear. And just throw them into it. I was not supposed to kick the guy. I tried to cancel it, but it was too late. Now we'll just go free flower and shoot him. And now 80% we have to do a hover. I call it final hover. We have to hover under this building to get him to trigger all of this jelly. But since we have the rings, we can not do that and just jump up.
I admire you, Glubby Glove, but you leave me no choice.
Alright, now he's gonna have a trash out of us, which we have to suck up. So we'll just suck up this second trash, shoot it back at him to end the level. Alright, so this is a trash mini game, which we're gonna do a very specific way. You can clip that trash
Is there anything that shouldn't be recycled?
into the truck through that angle. Like that. And so we're actually gonna do a small cheese.
My wishes may have shaken up the world, but Cassandra's the one who's gone out of control.
We're gonna stay here.
It's time to stop
1,
for good and
2,
save our friends once
and then
for all.
just jump over. She'll come down, and then we can hit her right there. Normally you just jump on the chair and she'd be like way far out. And if you jump out and hit her too early, if you do that, it will soft lock the fight. But if you do the strat that I did, soft locking is not a concern. You can also soft lock, but she has to be invisible, but she still has her collision, and that's what will soft lock if you hit her in that state. She has to be visible so it won't soft lock. Alright, now we just wait for the last prompt to come up, and the timer will stop it automatically, but that is the end of the run. A 49.57 is very takeable. It was 1:12 off my PB, and it was a 51.57 RTA.
What happened?
For no reset, I can
Tastes like jelly.
really take that.
I have to hand it to you, SpongeBob. Your quirky approach did what the Royal Guard failed to do. You apprehended Madame Cassandra. Of course, you also empowered her to nearly destroy us all. But that's jelly under the bridge now.
The ending to this game was really rushed.
As a reward for your outstanding bravery,
Like,
I shall
really
grant you
rushed.
one final wish, so make it count.
1:12 off PB and 2:12 off Summer Best.
After today, there's only one thing I could wish for.
That is very
and
interesting.
that is-
That was fun.
Don't think I've ever been a minute between PB and Summer Best. Alright. That is SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake, Hoverless. Goodbye.